के लिए आपका। और अब सीधे रुख करते हैं दिल्ली का, जहां पर इंडिया न्यूज का कॉन्क्लेव जारी है।
Look towards work, and how has that changed your outlook towards life?
Um, Becoming a mother was absolutely amazing. It's something that I wanted to do, and I always knew I wanted to be a mother. I always knew I wanted to have children. I had number 3 in my mind, but you never know when you meet your partner what they want. And I got really lucky, and they've changed my world. I get a little bit less sleep. I have a lot more patience. And as far as my work goes with, all these things it's amazing to be able to do both. And I always tell my children I'm a better mommy as a working mommy. And every mother out there has their own views of what they want and how they want to raise their children. But I do want my children to see that I work hard and that, the things that we have, it doesn't come for free. And we have to work really hard and put in the effort. And with that effort comes, all these amazing things that they love. They're still too young to understand it, but hopefully one day they'll remember that their parents were working parents.
But Sunny, speaking of family, of course, we only see the glamorous side of you and your family, and you have a beautiful family, by the way, touch wood for that. But what's one thing beyond the glamour? What's a small everyday struggle that you face as a working mom, which you feel other women in this room would relate to?
You just can't get enough hugs and kisses. And no matter how much you have to walk out the door, just need one last hug, one last kiss, one last something. Talk to me, speak to me, let me hold you. I think that that's always a struggle, but it's so much fun being a parent.
Also, I have to ask you about your partner as well, because that plays a very important role, isn't it? How has Daniel played that role? And how important is it for women who are watching as well to have such a supportive and, a protective husband and partner?
Sure. I mean, it really just depends on what kind of relationship you have with your partner. For us, we met each other and we were just glued to each other. And we figured out very quickly that we can work together and not hate each other or want to tear each other apart. Our basic fundamentals of business was very, very similar. How we function and how we separate those roles. It was never a sit-down conversation saying, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. It just fell into place, luckily. And for those women out there who do work with their husbands, there's all the perks, and there's always, maybe you should go out with your buddies tonight, and I'll go out with my friends. But it's amazing having a really supportive husband who is very protective, and also he allows me to be me. I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for him. He moved here with me. He didn't know anything about anybody, about the industry, about how things work, and we literally stumbled, clawed, and had some fun, and worked really, really hard to get where we are. And he's probably more Indian than I am now. I'll tell you a funny story. So we were getting our OCI cards here in India, and he was the only white boy standing in line in this office, and they're like, sir, you're in the wrong area. And he's like, no, I want to have my overseas citizen of India visa. So it's really amazing to see his enthusiasm about being here.
Who's the most strict parent at home, though?
Probably me.
It's always the mother, isn't it?
Well, there's not many rules. It's just don't hit your brothers and sisters, respect each other, respect your family, treat each other with kindness, and, have fun in life. That's it. I mean, it's not so difficult.
Sunny, I just want to ask a slightly, slightly deeper, serious question as well, because in a way, you and your husband, you've created this modern blueprint of what a family would be today. You've had the opportunity to adopt a beautiful daughter. She's so lovely. and you've had your 2 boys through surrogacy as well. So you've embraced a lot of different ways to fulfill that joy of parenthood. What would you want the viewers watching to be an important lesson from your journey? What can you sort of share with us about that experience and, you know, the emotional ups and downs, and how did you go through it?
Sure. I'll start with Nisha, who she's adopted. We applied to adopt a child, and it took first of all, it takes a long time, lots of paperwork to go through this entire process. And one day you get a letter that says, you've been matched with so-and-so. And it was Nisha's photo. And I knew from that second that I saw that photo, I go, that's my baby girl. She's mine, and I'm her mother. And it was like instant that you have that feeling inside that that's my child. That's going to be my baby. And without a question in my mind, I knew that we were going to, you know, try our very best to bring her home. And that entire process is very, very emotional. And I got to meet her, and we got to, you know, finish obviously all the paperwork and bring her home. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily an easy journey, but it's a journey that both my husband and I are willing to, you know, move forward with. And I think that if we can provide her with the tools in life to be a good human and be understanding, and she's extremely, extremely intelligent. She just created her first invention. You guys can go check it out. It's called Boo Box.
Wow.
So my daughter, just like most children, are extremely lazy, and she had really, really bad allergies. And I would come home, there's a pile of tissue papers everywhere. I'm like, Nisha, dustbin is right here. You just have to pick the tissue and put it in the dustbin. And so this went on for, you know, a little while. And my husband came home one day, and he noticed that she had stuck a disposable cup and taped it onto a tissue box. And he started laughing at her, saying, Nisha, this is crazy. I'll just go buy it for you. Like, this is such a cool thing that you've created, but I mean, obviously it's a tissue box and a disposable cup. And he started looking on Amazon, Alibaba. He started looking online. He started looking everywhere. And he goes, oh my gosh, Nisha, I think you just invented something that is not on the market. And as parents, we know that she's, like, when I say extremely intelligent, she's extremely, extremely intelligent. And we both looked at her and said, we will nurture this idea of yours, but you're going to do it all on your own. And she went and sat with, you know, someone on AutoCAD. Then she went to the lawyer. Then we got it patented. Then we got, you know, all the prototypes. And she went to all of these different places to look to see what materials she wanted her Boo Box to be. And, you know, after that entire process, then, you know, we have a final product now, and you guys can check it out.
Yes.
It's amazing. And she just made her first order. Amazing. And like it's on sale. So, you know, this journey, this is one thing that's an amazing thing that she's done. And then there's also the psychological side that we have to really pay attention to. And we are nurturing. And as she's a lot older now, she's 9, so her emotions are completely different than when she was 3 and when she was 4.
And you have to continue to evolve, as a mother. This is a completely
Yeah.
new, this is a fantastic, you know, because we often have these interviews with your, you know, getting a lot of applause as well, a lot of parenting tips, I'm sure, for many people, because we have, you know, these conversations with you, and mostly it's on films or an event, and it's great to, you know, get to know the motherhood side of
We
yours.
could stay here for an hour, but they only gave us like this much time together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
और अब आपको उत्तरकाशी में आई तब